channel. My name is Michaela and I make videos every week here on sustainable living, minimalism, and behind the brand. So today's video we are going to be talking about the sustainable way to declutter. So if you are new to the minimalism community, or if you're interested in minimalism or you've been doing it a long time, you've probably heard the term decluttering or know about how to declutter your items and give things away to make new space in your home for nothing or for things that you actually use and love. One problem that I see with minimalism as you continue to declutter and declutter, if you're not stopping the items that are coming into your home, then there's an endless cycle of donating items to Goodwill instead of keeping what you have and using it and loving it and not bringing new things in that you won't keep. With decluttering, it's important and it's definitely a necessary part of minimalism. If you have too many items and things are just crowding in on you and you can't quite get through your home or feel calm in your home, it's definitely an important step to take. However, donating all of your items to Goodwill may not be exactly what you think it is. I have been doing a lot of research on what happens to donated items, and today I'm going to share with you what truly does happen whenever you donate something to big chain thrift stores like Goodwill and alternative donation centers you can use so that you don't have to keep all of your things, but when you donate them, you know they're not getting burned in the landfill. So let's get into the ways that donating items to Goodwill can actually have negative impacts on the environment. Usually whenever we think about donating items to Goodwill, you probably think of something like a person going through your box, taking everything out, clipping a tag to it, and putting it in the store. And then after a while, it finds a new home with somebody who will use and love it. While that does happen sometimes, the majority of items that are donated to Goodwill don't have this path of life. In truth, Goodwill gets overwhelmed a ton, as well as other commercial thrift stores, and they end up receiving way more items than they can actually sell. What happens to these items, you might be thinking? According to the EPA, 84% of textile donations actually end up in the landfill and incinerators, not the hands of a new buyer. On the other hand, many textile recyclers will take these unwanted clothes, bundle them up by gender and size, and then ship them off to developing countries. You may be thinking, that sounds like a great idea. Help out the less fortunate. If we can't help them here, let's help them in developing countries. But no, what this actually does is hurt the local economy of these developing countries by taking business and production away from the local manufacturers of these items, and there's still such an overwhelming number of these items that they all don't get used. Then they start to break down and cause toxic methane to off-gas from these clothing pieces as they are breaking down, and that hurts the air quality of these environments. So it's really not a good solution for where to put these clothes. On top of this, these clothes are not actually donated to these countries. Instead, they are remarketed and sold in what's referred to as bend-over markets in these developing countries, which literally means that people are bending over to try and sift through the piles of clothes that they then have to pay for. So it's really not something that ends up benefiting anybody involved. This has led to countries like Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, and Burundi to place a ban on all clothing imports from these donation centers. That should tell you something. Now, this could leave you wondering, where on earth am I supposed to donate my items? Do I have to keep everything? The answer is no. I have a child. While you should be more mindful of the things that you're bringing into your home, when you need to declutter something, there are sustainable places that you can take items. Let's tackle clothing in this video, and in my blog post that is also live today, you can see the other places to donate extra items like crayons, household goods, construction materials, books, movies, and things like that. So there's a very comprehensive list, but let's get into the places that you can donate clothing responsibly. Firstly, when you go through your clothing and you think you don't want to keep the items, take a really good look at the pieces that you have and make sure that they are usable and that somebody else would want the item. If it's completely unusable, has holes, stains, or things that are kind of beyond repair, you don't want to donate these clothing items. Instead, think about ways you can recycle and repurpose them into rags or other smaller things that you could cut pieces out of the shirt and sew something, like face cloths or little bags, all that kinds of stuff. I'm going to be having a couple of DIY project blog posts soon, so keep an eye out for that if you need some ideas on how to repurpose your unusable textiles. If your clothing is able to be donated and is in good quality and good condition, then what you can do is just reach out to your friends and family and ask them if there's anything they need or could use. In this case, you could give them an item as a gift, you could ask them to come and look and see if they want anything, or you can even host a party where everybody brings something they don't want anymore and all of you swap and leave with new items that you can use. One thing to keep in mind though is if you're gifting these items to people, don't gift and overwhelm them. Always be sure that it's something they're going to love and use and not feel like they've become your Goodwill center because you can't drop stuff off there anymore. If nobody else in your life can use the clothing, one of the things that I would do is reach out to your local homeless shelters for women and children and men and see if they are in need of any items. I find that these places in particular are looking for professional clothing that can be used for interviews, for jobs and business meetings, and things that will really promote these people to a higher position in life so that they don't have to stay at the homeless shelter. So that's something to keep in mind as you donate to those types of places. The second way that you can donate is to a local thrift store where it's a small business and not a chain. For example, there is a thrift store in Pittsburgh, local to where I am, called Eco Thrift Pittsburgh. Eco Thrift Pittsburgh does their best to ensure that nothing goes to the landfill or gets donated or thrown out if they can't sell it. They do have a high turnover and are trying to put their pieces in responsibly and accept items that they know will sell. So with places like that, you can feel good about donating to them because not only is it a small business that's helping your local community, and the proceeds of those items getting sold directly benefits the owners and the people working hard to sell them, but it also means that those items are not going to end up in a landfill if they don't get sold. There are plenty of places like that in your local area, so I encourage you to find them out. Do a little Google search, drive down some back roads and see if you can find any kinds of gems like Eco Thrift Pittsburgh. But if you can't find anything like that, there is also Consignment, which is basically where you go to a store and they will accept some of your items they believe will sell, and they will hold them in their store for a period of 1 to 3 months. After that period of time, if they have sold, they'll sell for a percentage, meaning that the store gets 60% of the sale price and you keep 40% of the sale price. This is a great option if you have higher end pieces or if you're looking to recoup some of the money from your clothing. So I've done this a few times with Consignment Cottage in Pittsburgh. So if that's something that you're looking for doing, check out some consignment stores in your area and see if they have a need for that. If you've done all of that and you can't find anywhere to use your clothes, one thing you can do is call your thrift store like Goodwill or Salvation Army and ask them what they're in need of. If they are in need of a specific item and you can donate that to them, it's much more likely that it will sell rather than getting tossed to the landfill. It's times when we give things that are completely overwhelming and everything at once that causes these items to not get used. So if the store has a need or knows exactly what's selling and you can provide that, then it's okay to donate to those places because you have a better chance of those items getting used by someone. As a last resort, if you really don't want to donate to Goodwill or you can't for some reason, you can always recycle your clothing. Now this would mean eliminating their use as a piece of clothing and shredding it to become stuffing for something, or taking it to a recycling center where they would shred it and put it into like stuffing or other uses like that. That is an option, but it's nice to find a use for the clothing before you turn to recycling. If you have any old bras lying around that are still in good condition, you can donate these bras to an organization called Uplift, which donates these bras to women in developing countries who don't have bras. The Uplift project provides them with these bras so that they can feel confident and supported. And if you don't want to give people bras with underwire, then you can always find a different way to dispose of that and recycle it, and maybe donate the ones with elastic on the bottom instead if that makes you feel a little bit better about that decision. The last thing on our list is shoes. If you have shoes that are in good condition that you don't want anymore, you can donate them to Souls for Souls, which is a program that Zappos started. Zappos will actually take your old shoes and donate them to people in need. Plus, the best part about it is that they take care of the shipping for you. So all you have to do is go to the website linked down in the description box below, and they will give you all the instructions that you need to give your shoes a new home. That wraps up today's video about how to donate clothing responsibly and sustainably. Thank you so much for watching. For more sustainable tips on donating other things like books, DVDs, construction items, home items, and more, you can visit the link in the description for the full journal post that links everything that you could want. I highly recommend that you save this post or this video to reference in the future for whenever you're decluttering. Where can I donate items that will actually use what I have to give? I know it can be overwhelming and difficult to find places that are doing good, but I promise you that they're out there, and I hope that this post and this video really helps you to connect with some of these organizations and help them do good. Join me next Sunday for another video about sustainability behind the brand and slow living. I will see you next week. Drop a comment down below if you learned something new today.